Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Michelle, and today we have Matt on the show who's selling an affiliate business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Matt, welcome to the show. How are you today?
G'day Michelle, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I really want to thank you for making the time to come on today. I'm looking forward to learning more about your business, but before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of it. It's an affiliate business in the pet care niche created in July 2020. The average revenue for the business is $17,838 per month, and it makes an average of $16,454 per month in net profit. Included in this sale is a domain including all site content and files, employee contacts, and social media accounts for Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 58781 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So Matt, now let's hear from you. I'm really impressed by how quickly you've managed to build up this site and make it extremely profitable. I'd really love to hear more about the strategies you've used for this business, but before we get into that, why don't you fill us in on your background in building and running an online business?
Yeah, thanks. No worries, Michelle. So essentially, I had a friend of mine, he's a very close friend of mine, and he was in the affiliate marketing, kind of digital marketing space. He probably started about 10 years ago, and I remember I was on a holiday with him in Indonesia. This would have been about 6 or so years ago now. And he just kind of walked me through what he'd been doing, how it was working and his lifestyle. And I definitely knew that that's something that A, I believe I could do quite easily, and then B, something that I definitely wanted to do. So I kind of got the lowdown from him. I learned very quickly the places that I should look for information and the places that I shouldn't be looking for information. And then, I started a first site that was very much just like a learning site where it was a bit of trial and error. I had some wins, but I obviously had a lot of losses as well. And yeah, that was just a kind of fun one to kind of learn from. Then I started another one. And that one, I kind of was starting to figure things out pretty well. So I'd done a lot of, online courses, and I had gone to a few, SEO kind of conferences overseas and things like that. So I was starting to, build my knowledge in that kind of space. And so I started this other site, and that one did fairly well. So I had that one for about 2 years as well. And I sold that for a decent amount of money. And then I used that money to start this current site. And by that stage, I'd probably been maybe like in this space for about 4 years, learned a lot. And just basically was able to tie everything I'd learned over that time into this site. And it obviously had done quite well. And it definitely wasn't luck. It was through, 4 years of learning and perseverance and just really dedicating myself to that. And that was probably the kind of scenario of how it got to where it is today.
It's really cool to hear. So I was wondering, what was the inspiration behind starting this specific site?
I've just had a love for this specific niche my whole life, essentially. So I kind of knew that if I was going to be dedicating so much time towards something, it needed to be something that I was kind of passionate about, really. So, I think the niche is just something that I've been obsessed with my whole life, essentially. So, it was never work. I learned a ton of new stuff as well that I didn't know. So it was always super interesting to me. So I kind of knew that for whatever reason it didn't work out, it was still something that I was passionate about anyway. So it didn't really faze me.
Yeah, passion project. That's really cool. So I was wondering, you've got this really profitable site and you love the subject matter. So why have you decided to sell the business now?
Definitely, I want to kind of diversify in a lot of different areas. I do want to keep doing affiliate marketing, and I do have another site that's completely unrelated niche. So I want to be able to use potentially the money for this one to hopefully grow that one into a similar sort of level, potentially go into other niches as well. But I also wanted to get out of, I don't want to get out of, but I want to diversify into different areas as well. So commercial property is something I've been looking at pretty closely over the last year and a half. So yeah, having, I guess, a bit of money to be able to put towards, purchasing a couple of different properties, as well as, a little bit into cryptocurrency at the moment as well. So put a little bit there and just have, not all my eggs in the one basket sort of scenario. That's been something that's been on my mind a little while. I'm obviously, I just want to be able to diversify into different areas and have a go at a couple of different things. As much as I love affiliate marketing and digital marketing, all that kind of stuff, I want to be able to grow into different areas and learn different things, which is something I have been doing, but I need a little bit more capital behind me to start making big pushes into those areas as well.
Yeah, we've been hearing that a lot lately about sellers who are just looking to diversify. A lot of them have mentioned commercial real estate, actually, which is quite interesting. But, they're trying to kind of get out there, get some diversified, revenue streams going, then come back to online business. So are you planning to come back, or you have other sites you said that right now you're working on as well?
Correct. I've got one. It's a very much slowly growing up. I haven't probably posted an article on that site for about 2 months now. It was doing all right. Like kind of pitter patters along. I've obviously, all my focus has been on the current site, and now I do this one, just kind of little bit of stuff in between. I've got no doubt that with the same sort of dedication and the way that I approached it with the site that we're obviously discussing, that it could do pretty well as well.
I was wondering, it's an affiliate site. You're not using display ads or anything like that. It's straight just affiliate links?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And do you work with multiple companies or like multiple affiliate partners, or do you have people who are specific to the niche that you work with?
I think I have at the moment about 14 different affiliate partners. Might sound a bit crazy, but it's actually really, really, really good, and almost, something that you need to do in this space to have a level of comfort in how different relationships kind of could go. You just need to have that extra insurance in case one kind of affiliate partner decides to pull the pin or decides to, potentially change it, their commission rates or things like that. You've got other avenues that you can fall back on. It's diversifying in that sense as well, right? Like, there was a lot of issues back in the day where, Amazon in the US, they would cut the commission there, and that would just, totally implode a lot of people's sites. So, having 14 different affiliate partners, you can kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. It's mitigating the risk. You're right. I was wondering earlier, you had touched upon your extensive background in doing affiliate marketing and kind of had mentioned that the success of this site was not luck. It came about as the result of learning and hard work and learning from your mistakes and whatnot. Is there something that you've learned while doing affiliate marketing that just worked particularly well for you?
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the biggest secrets is definitely relationship building. And that could be, like, it's probably no secret relationship building when it comes to link building and all that kind of stuff. That is definitely one component of it, right? Where I make sure I build relationships with different kind of content editors and people that have, sway over different blogs and things like that, where you can get articles potentially posted and things like that. But that's nothing new, right? I think the other area was building relationships in different potential affiliate partners, right? So just constantly outreaching to people and building a relationship initially with them about what partnership we both could have, and really paint a good picture to them that it's a mutually beneficial relationship where they would want to come on board, as opposed to just, potentially listing their product with Amazons or with the other affiliate-based providers. I think that's the biggest thing, where I've got, like I mentioned earlier, I do have those 14 affiliate partners, and I'm pretty close with all of them. I'm probably loyal to a fault in a sense, where I obviously am selling this site now, but I probably could have switched up some of the partners with some of the others to get a little bit more commission every month. But, I'm loyal to the ones that I had it from the start, so I don't kind of change that at the moment. But, I'd have slightly different commission rates with all of them, are a lot better than what your standard one would be. And that is through building that relationship and really showing to them that there is a mutually beneficial partnership between us both.
I really like that. On the flip side of that, is there something that, that you experienced where it just didn't work the way that you thought that it was going to?
I think I always think that to some extent, like over the course of the whole site, like everything's been super positive. There's definitely been, I've had one experience with affiliate partner or a former affiliate partner where they did try to dictate terms a little bit. I think that was probably one of the biggest light bulb moments for me as well, where I probably didn't have, 14 affiliate partners at that stage. I think I probably would have had 6, and, them threatening to, they wanted to end the partnership if I didn't let go of another affiliate partner that I just put on. And they just, they didn't want any competition or anything like that, even though I was listing them in the lower positions, basically threatened to remove them from the site and end our partnership and not pay the commission for that month, et cetera, et cetera. And, I was a little bit worried at the time because they were a high earning affiliate partner and, we had a relationship for a while, but yeah, I let them go. And to be honest with you, it was the best decision I ever made because I put one of the other affiliate partners that had come on and have much better relationship with them. They're much easier to work with and they paid a higher commission. A lot of the times with the issues that I've had with the site, it's been like a short-term red flag, which has turned into, a more positive thing in the future. There's always a few issues that kind of pop up, not issues, but Google updates, they haven't affected the site in any way, but there's definitely times where, I might notice a 10% drop in traffic and I think, shit, like what's going on here? Then it will go up the next month by 20%. And then 2 months later, it goes down by 10%. And then 3 months later, it goes back up by 20%. So there's constant, ups and downs, but it's almost like 3 steps forward, 1 step back sort of scenario.
Right. And it all sort of evens out in the end. I'm actually glad that you brought up your traffic. I wanted to know, where does the majority of your traffic come from?
The majority is just organic traffic. So yeah, Google would be, I'd say 90% and, the other ones that might be the other search engines, but Google does have massive market share when it comes to that.
And have you done a lot of SEO work on the site?
Yeah, definitely. So every article's been optimized for SEO.
Are you doing anything else in terms of marketing for the site?
What do you mean by that?
I noticed you do have social media profiles. Are you active on those or?
Like the social media profiles are definitely gaining traction, but it's not something that I have been, putting too much time into at the moment. They're there for good, solid social signals, for link building and then just to show Google that it is a brand as opposed to just, a site that's whacking stuff kind of up. But I have been focusing on, there is so much content to put on this type of niche that it's just needs to take like 80 to 90% of your time doing that and making sure that you're correctly and having, the content written correctly and optimized correctly. So that's been my main focus.
Well, how do you handle your content right now? Is that written by you or is it written by somebody else?
Yeah, so I have a team of 3 writers. A long time ago, I created what I call a brain. I'm doing that inverted commas in the air. And that was just a Google sheet that had, I'd spent like half a day or a day. And I have added to that in further days and things like that. But essentially, a tree of kind of articles that I wanted to get written and then put up on the site with related content and build out silos and all that kind of stuff. So I had created that and I have 3 amazing writers currently. And yeah, I usually give them each 2 articles a week. And then sometimes it can drop down to 1 each depending on the kind of scenario. But yeah, I guess we're usually putting up between 3 and 6 articles a week. I create SOP, which highlights what the article they are to write is, and then what keywords should be kind of put in, making sure they don't over-optimize anything. General kind of gist what other articles they should be linking to make sure that there is a good silo within that and they're not kind of moving across into different areas that I don't want them to be potentially linking to. Yeah, so that's, I guess, every week when it comes to content writing, all I do is I look at my brain, which is my spreadsheet of different articles that I want to be written and the keywords that are associated with it. I create the SOP for those writers, send it to them. They write it, then send it back to me. I just do a quick kind of proofread and then send it to my VA who uploads it on the site and then it goes live.
So you're mostly focusing on just kind of overseeing their work, giving them these briefs and networking and link building. So how much time would you say that you spend on average working on the site?
On a standard week, I'd say it's about 4 hours. So it doesn't take me too long to put those SOPs together, purely because I do have a spreadsheet of, I know exactly what's going to be written the following week and the week after that because I've got a plan ahead of what it is. And then, I get that written and then sent to the writers. Then they get back to me and, I basically do the review just through Grammarly and make sure that, a few things are, just make sure that there's nothing obvious that stands out and then get that article posted by the VA and then, it's live. So it's nothing too crazy. And then, I do link building campaigns every month or something like that. And that might add an extra to 3 hours for that week. And then usually that campaign kind of has a flow-on effect in it for the remaining 3 weeks or something, or the next 3 weeks, I should say, and that might add an extra hour. So instead of it might be 7 hours that 1 week and then 5 hours the next 3 weeks, something like that, just kind of tying off a few loose ends. There can be a little bit of an onboarding process with the new affiliate partners that I mentioned earlier. So, making sure that their products are going to be suitable, just talking general kind of terms, everything like that. So that can be a little bit of a process. But again, that's already kind of happened. So once it's on, it's fine. So again, I mentioned we've got 14, I believe, at the moment. One thing I do at the end of every month is I send an email out to all the affiliate partners to say, hey, this is what the commissions are for the previous month. Can you please make sure they're paid by this date? So for a few of them, I do have to create invoices as well. So that might be, again, it doesn't take long. So maybe for everyone, it might take me, again, I don't have to create an invoice for everyone. There's maybe like 5 or 6 invoices that I put together, and I usually just do them one after the other at the end of the month, and that might take half an hour or something as well.
It sounds like it's a very hands-off business for the most part.
Definitely, yeah.
Just small tasks that take up a little bit of your time in a given week. I was wondering, what do you see as the major opportunities for growth for this site?
So easily the biggest opportunity for growth is just going to be more content, right? Like as I mentioned earlier, there is just a ton. It's almost like a never-ending amount of content. Obviously, like the amount of search volume and things like that might drop, but that can be overcome with just the general kind of amount of content that can go up, right? So instead of having something that might get 1,000 searches a month, you might be able to get 10 articles up that have 100 searches a month, and that could equal that 10. So that could equal that 1,000, I should say. There is a ton more opportunities there, and there should be plenty of future opportunities with different sorts of stuff that comes out as well, I would say. It's definitely an evergreen kind of niche. As you mentioned earlier as well, I haven't put on ads or anything like that, and I've done that just because I like to keep things looking pretty streamlined. I don't necessarily personally like going onto sites where there's a ton of ads, and so I just keep that the same for my site. It's pretty streamlined, it's pretty fast. Yeah, so definitely ad revenue is something that somebody could put on, and that could be another large bonus. This is something that I personally wouldn't do, but someone could definitely take advantage of something like this where they could, I get a ton of emails from people that are wanting to ask to post an article on my site where they can get a link for included, guest posting. So, people can ask for upwards of $500 to $1,000 per link, things like that. So I know that's a revenue model or another revenue stream that some people do use. Yeah, so there's definitely that as well. Drop shipping is a big one that's coming into play. So if people have their own, product, we're ranking for a variety of different keywords and different products. So, people could potentially put their own products in those top positions that are making a lot of the sales and, take a huge chunk of the revenue out from that. So that could be another opportunity.
Right now, you don't have an email list, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, something that I've never I should have learnt about that a little bit more. Yeah, I haven't. I've got a couple of mates that have been in this space for a little while, and they're the ones that essentially got me into it, right? And they've been telling me that for a while. It's just been something that I've been putting off, been lazy.
Well, I think, you've got your hands full with multiple businesses to run. I was wondering, we kind of touched a bit upon like the importance of diversification with your affiliate partners, and we touched a bit about, Google, the algorithm and traffic kind of dropping and stabilizing over time. What do you think, aside from those, can you think of any risks that a buyer should be aware of?
I don't think there's any risk to this site that's just outside of any kind of white hat affiliate site that would be across the board with any of them. So, those risks are just generally, again, like I would normally say that the biggest risk to an affiliate site is that reliance on those big affiliate companies like your Amazons. But again, I just really don't think that is actually that much of a risk with this site because there is such diversity with the affiliate partners. Google rankings and just search engine rankings in general, that's always going to be a risk. Again, I think there shouldn't be too much with the way that the site was created. It is very white hat. There was everything done by the book. It's followed best practice when it comes to all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's still going to be risks, right? Like that should be something that is taken into account.
I think that you're quite fortunate because you are in a very evergreen niche as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not something that interest is not going to wane over time.
Definitely not. Like, look, if anything, I think it's going to grow, right? Like it's been, in terms of that, like I think that's always going to be on the up. The niche is, like you said, it's definitely always was huge, but it's getting huger and huger, especially in Australia, right? Like the population is due to grow exponentially in the next 10, 20, 30 years, things like that, even 5 years. So, I've got no doubt more and more people are going to be within that niche as well. So it's going to be, I think it's a fantastic niche to be in.
And I was wondering, Matt, would you commit to a non-compete for a buyer?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that kind of would need to be done for a site that was selling for this amount. I think, it just makes sense. So, definitely.
And how much support are you offering buyers?
I will offer whatever the standard support is.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
Yeah, look, I don't know too much of what an earnout is, so it's hard for me to say either way, but I'm definitely open to discussing it.
Fantastic. And putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I think this is a business worth buying because it has been built from scratch on a very good foundation of, fundamentals and best practice kind of SEO and digital marketing and content creation and everything like that. So it's got the foundation for just longevity and growth, as you have already mentioned. And, it just is. It's an evergreen niche and it's got, future potential that is just, insane. It's got the risk in terms of the affiliate side of things, which I mentioned earlier about Amazon and how that can be an issue for some sites. It is far less with the amount of affiliate partners that we've got. It might sound like it's a bit of a time wasting exercise having so many, but it's really, really not. Like, they're already set up. It's all ready to go. It's all very streamlined. And, if one person runs out of a product, you just add another product from one of the different affiliate sites and it just keeps on rolling. It's a well-oiled machine. Yeah, they're probably the biggest ones. And the fact that it's just earning very good money every month.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about the business that we might not have covered?
Probably the fact that it is an Australian site. Like, I don't know if too many people buy Australian sites through Empire Flippers. But it's a site that is a .com.au site and it's targeting the Australian country. I'm obviously Australian as well. So that's probably something that can be a little bit unique and that we haven't necessarily discussed. I don't think any impediment to any potential buyers. I think it's unique, but it just is what it is. But it's something that's, I guess, unique to what we have been discussing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Matt, for coming on and giving us a little more insight into you and your business. It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this.
Absolutely, Michelle. Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 58781. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.